roughed up in East Rutherford. The Houston Texans lost to the Jets today by a score of 30-6. Unbelievable course of events here. Let's get to memorable or forgettable moments. Everything you love, everyone that you hang out with together. Coca-Cola together tastes better. We're live from the Mattress Firm broadcast booth, and this game started out slowly, didn't erupt until the second half. You thought the Texans offense would be the one to erupt, but they did not. No score in the first quarter, but along the way, Nico Collins had an early catch that was significant in his career. 2nd and 7 from the Houston 28. Stroud to throw. He's got time. Now he steps to the left, throws downfield, hits Nico, makes the catch, 41-yard line. Sauce Gardner with the tackle, and that puts Nico Collins over 1,000 yards on the season.
Didn't take long to take care of business for Nico.
But the business would stop for Nico Collins, who had to leave the game with a calf injury, and that changed the entire complexion of the Houston offense, already operating without Tank Dell. Well, we went into the half scoreless. The Jets in the third quarter put together a 75-yard drive. Wilson, 15-yard touchdown pass. This one stung. Randall Cobb, the former Texan and Packer, catching the ball on the crosser and taking it in for the 7-0 New York lead. Texans couldn't move the ball, so the Jets get it back, 69-yard drive. Gibson, 9-yard touchdown run, 14-0, and the Jets are starting to heat up. But the Texans got a takeaway finally. They couldn't move the ball, gave it back to the Jets. Wilson scrambling for a first down, fumbles. Texans pounce on it, and they drive in for the score to make it 14-6 because of Devin Singletary's run. C.J. digs in behind Michael Dieter. 1st and goal at the 1. Handoff motor, left side run, he gets in. The Texans finally get on the board. Untimed down, end of the third quarter. Houston scores, and it's a one-score game for the Texans. That was nice because they got the PI call to get them down to the 1. They were already in a goal-to-go situation, but they missed the extra point. That felt kind of deflating at the time. You can't blame the whole loss on that, of course. But it's 14-6. Get the ball back. Well, they couldn't do it. Next time Wilson touched the ball, threw his second touchdown pass of the day, 21-6 to count. They added 2 field goals, and along the way, the Texans just couldn't get going on offense other than that drive following the takeaway. That's what they want to see, but they didn't see enough of it today. Players who left the game for the Houston Texans. We mentioned Nico Collins. Also, Blake Cashman left the game with an injury. Tavierre Thomas left the game with an injury. And fairly late, well, it was very late, C.J. Stroud had to get evaluated for a concussion, and we can only hope that he's available next week against the Tennessee Titans in Nashville, because that becomes a mega important game. It was anyway, but it takes on extra significance now. A stunning 30-6 loss to the New York Jets today. Dre, what do you have for the sack report?
Yeah, our HEB sack report, the Texans had 4 sacks in today's game. Jonathan Grenard, 2 of them by way of Grenard. Sheldon Rankins had 1, and Malik Collins had the other, bringing the total to 4. As part of Sacks for Hunger, HEB will donate $1,000 to the Houston Food Bank every time the Texans sack the quarterback. The HEB Sack Attack is brought to you by HEB, the official tailgate headquarters of the Houston Texans.
Turnover margin. The Texans entered today ranked 5th in turnover margin at +7. Today they go +1, but it doesn't matter because they don't win the game. They don't score points. The Colts, by the way, have lost to the Bengals 34-14. Boy, Jake Browning looking good for the Bengals with 275 yards. And hang on, let me get this number for you. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, mix it at 79. And they look good, the Bengals did, in knocking off the Cleveland Browns. And the Bengals don't look now. They're 6-6. Texans are 7-6 as they head to Nashville next week. Dre, how do you define what happened today? It's not just the injuries. They came out flat. I know the rain was a factor, but it didn't bother the Jets at all. And they should be the offense that's much more challenged by weather conditions or anything else for that matter.
Yeah, but when you lose weapons like a Tank Dell from last week, and then you lose Nico Collins after 1 play or whatever amount of plays in the first quarter, that tends to have an effect and a lasting effect because you can't move the ball and operate. Now you're constantly shifting guys around to try to make it work in the passing game. So I think that first and foremost, without the ability to establish a running game and stick with it, that allowed some free rushers on the quarterback. And once the Jets got a 2-score lead, the defensive line and linebackers, everybody else that they were bringing, could pin their ears back and come after CJ, and ultimately they knocked him out of the game.
Oh, yes, they did, and we'll see what happens this week as he is being evaluated for a concussion. He's in the protocol going into Week 15. Texans losing this one 30-6. Christian Harris had 10 tackles to lead the Texans today. John Harris visits with him in the locker room as our Reliant Power player of the game.
Our guys in the locker room with Christian Harris. Christian, you guys today, tough one in the second half, but really good job against stopping the run. What did you guys do to be so good at stopping the run today against the Jets and take that away at least?
I mean, we knew they had it was a big part of their game. They have a great running back, 2 great running backs. So I think, just trying to, finish up on tackles, everybody, in their fits, and just trying to execute on that end, trying to make them one-dimensional as much as we can. Obviously we fell short. It was too many explosives regardless. They had some big runs that you kind of extended drive. So, regardless of the success, the goal is to be perfect, and, we didn't get that goal today. So.
What's the biggest thing in bouncing back at a big one? Got to go on the road to Tennessee, a place where we won last year. What's the biggest key in getting ready for Tennessee?
Head up, chin up. I mean, like I said, every time, man, it's 1-0 every week. Like, whether win or lose or draw, like, you got to, once Monday hit, you watch the film and you get right back to it. I mean, it's just how it is. So, we're going to keep our head up and not sag, not soak about it. And, like I said, just keep our mind positive moving forward.
Obviously, with Tennessee, you're going to see a guy, Derrick Henry, and I know you haven't really prepared for it. How quick do you have to flush this one and get ready for Derrick Henry and the Titans?
I said every single week, man. You have to flush the game out. You got a 24-hour rule to enjoy it or soak on it and, get right back to it. So, he's a great running back. It's somebody that we're obviously going to have to prepare for. They have a great offense as well. Like I said, it's the NFL, man, so you can't really be holding your head on something that happened last week. Like I said, whether it's good or bad, you got to move on. So that's just how we're approaching it.
Christian, I appreciate your time, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
All right, Christian Harris, who had a big pick at Nashville last year in the second half, part of a Texans victory. He also had a forced fumble today, the second of his career. Let's get Dre's thoughts on the Titans, who play the Dolphins tomorrow night. We'll get to it.
Home for the Texans, Sports Radio 610.
30-6, the final score. The Texans losing to the New York Jets. Prime Sport Tale of the Tape with Tennessee up next. Tale of the Tape brought to you by Prime Sport. Visit primesport.com for your VIP experience needs. Well, Dre, it's Will Levis right now. They're going to play tomorrow night. We'll see how they do. We'll see who's healthy for the Titans. At least they're on a short week for the Houston Texans to go in there. But this much should be said. I don't care what the record is, what happens against the Dolphins. It's a division game, and you better be ready. There's no way that Mike Vrabel is not going to have those guys playing with intensity. I don't know if they can do it, but with intensity, because the Texans today, only 6 points on the board. You give up 30.
Yeah, it'll be one of those tough games, physical game. It's in Nashville, and then your Johnny asked Christian Harris about Derrick Henry. So everybody's aware of what lies ahead in terms of being able to stop a big physical running back who usually has his way with the Texans and they play. So hopefully we get a handle on that, get a handle on it early, and then figure out a way to get a win in Nashville.
Well, they'll try. Noon start at Nashville next week. The Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans. That's going to do it here from the Meadowlands. We want to thank everyone who worked on the broadcast today. Robert Hensley, our producer and halftime host. Aaron Raybold, the engineer. Ryan Rocket back at the studio at Network Control. Sean Bajani helping us out with the highlight work today. Thank you, Sean. John Harris with sideline reporting. Andre Ware with game analysis. And I'm Marc Vandermeer. Thanking you all for listening. Once again, the final score here from East Rutherford, New Jersey. The New York Jets 30, the Houston Texans 6. This is Texans Radio.